My name is Kathleen, Lindsey, and I live in Clayton, New Jersey, about an hour's drive from here. And I've been performing for 29 years, almost 30 years. I perform with my sister, 7 quilts for 7 sisters, and now I'm all by myself because I have a story to tell. Did y'all come to see me or did I come to see you? It don't matter none because Harriet here and she's going to tell you how she got to be free. It wasn't easy getting free. It was hard work. Sometimes you go to sleep at night and you wake up and you see somebody standing over you with their gun. Or sometimes you wake up and sometimes you don't wake up. You be dead. It was hard work. If you got long legs, you can run to freedom. Anybody can run. But you got to have common sense. Or you might find yourself back on the plantation. You be going in circles. Common sense. I had it all reasoned out in my head, you see. I could do one of two things. I could have my liberty or I could have my death. If I couldn't have one, I could have the other. For no man should take me alive. I shall fight for my freedom. And when the time comes for them to take me, I guess the good Lord will let them take me and kill me. But I'm still here. And that's where I'm going to be. Let me tell you, children, how I got to be free. I was born in around 1820 in a little cabin in Dorchester County, Maryland. I'll be about 13-year-old when I see the poor slave being bullied by the overseer. I followed them to the general store, and the overseer said to me, hold him, catch him, because they be in the store, you know. I didn't want to help him. I wanted to help the slave. And when I stepped in the doorway, the overseer picks up a heavy 2-pound weight, and he throws it at the slave. And I stepped in the doorway, and I got it right upside my head. There's been some terrible times. Poor little Minty. They call me Minty, but my real name be Araminta Ross. My mother, she be called Old Rit. And my pappy, he be called Ben Brodus, after the master. I wanted the master to realize that slavery was wrong, but he didn't. Then I hear tell he gonna sell me and my little brothers way down south to somebody's chain gang. And I prayed for my master to die. And guess what? He up and died like a dog he was, screaming and yelling, I'm taking your slaves with me. I'm taking everybody with me. But I'm still here. And that's where I'm going to be. Then we become the property of his son. And Lord, honey, we was worse off than before. But he wouldn't sell us. No, not yet. Not yet. Folks ask me, did I get any better from that blow to my head? Because they say I was damaged goods. Nobody wants me no more. I never gets no better. I still have them spells. I falls asleep a lot. Seizures, they call them. And you can't wake me. I got to wake up all by myself. Because you try to wake me and I'll get scared. So I wakes up all by myself. Folks ask me, well, when did you get married, Harriet? When did you get married? I say, I don't like to tell people my age, but I be about 23-year old. And I met me a free, proud black man. His name be John Tubman. Oh, the preacher say, Harriet, John, I hear y'all wants to get hitched. That be married. Just jump over the broom. Jump over the broom. So we join hands and we jump the broom. Now if one person trip and fall, he say, one of you gonna be sold. That's bad luck. So when you jump, you better jump together. And then we was married. I was real happy, but I was still a slave. And John, he'd be happy with that. He said, oh, that'd be all right. That'd be all right. Then we find out young master gonna sell us again. He gonna sell us further south this time to a cotton plantation. I had to leave my poor husband. He said if he come with me and we get caught, he'll lose his freedom forever. So I went by myself, took two of my little brothers with me. I couldn't say fare thee well to my peoples, but as I passed by their cabins at night, I sing a song. They never knew it was my fare thee well song. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Now that song be a code. Swing low, sweet chariot, that mean a wagon gonna take me away. A band of angels, that mean the abolitionists and people on the Underground Railroad gonna assist me and running away. Carry me home, that means I'm heading north to Freedom Land at last. In 1949, or 1849, 1849, you see, I was really born in 1949. Really born, yes. I see y'all trying to count up the years. In 1849, I runs to my freedom. Took my brothers with me, but for long they got scared and they want to turn back. I tells them, going back to the plantation, because they was too young. I walked by night, following them their stars. They called them stars the Big Dipper, or the North Star, or the Drinking Gourd. If no stars was in the sky that night when I'm running, I looked for the moss that grow alongside the tree, and that kept me traveling north to freedom. I took my only quilt with me, and I gave it to an old Quaker lady who helped me. You see, she had a safe house on the Underground Railroad, and she said, you come to me, Harriet, and I'll help you get the freedom to your next safe house. She was a station master who owned that safe house that I stayed in. And that was a part of the Underground Railroad. I traveled 100 miles all by myself through that big old wide wilderness. Crossed that Mason-Dixon line I did. Once I get to Pennsylvania, I has to look at my hands to see if I was the same person. Then I know that I was free. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. I looked at my hands. My hands looked new. I looked at my feet, and they did too. I was free. But there was no one there to welcome me in that land of freedom. The sun shone bright, and it glistened in the sky. And I got down on my knees, and I prayed to my dear Lord for bringing me to this here freedom land. And I made a promise that if he got me to freedom safe, I would go back and get my family, my mother, my father, my little brothers and my sisters, and bring them all up north to be free. I found work in a place in Pennsylvania. But before I found work, I met a man named William Steele. He's a powerful leader in the Underground Railroad. He teach me all about it. And that's how I got to be a conductor. And they say that I was the best there is. I made 19 trips back down into the deep south. And I helped over 300 slaves escape up north to freedom. And I never, ever lost a passenger. No train ever went off my tracks. No, they didn't. Folks ask me how many trips I make, and I'd say 19 trips. Yes, I did. And if I could save 1,000, I would have gone back more. Gone back down south as much as I could. They say, well, how many trips did you make? Did you really make on that Underground Railroad? And I said, honey child, it ain't no real railroad. It be all about good people helping slaves get to freedom. It wasn't a real train made of steam and steel, but a heap of people who owned houses, churches, and barns and schools, wagons and boats, and such. People who would risk their lives for the cause of freedom. I was in a lot of danger. Had to protect myself from those slave catchers, bounty hunters, and bloodhounds. I wasn't scared of nothing. Carried a weapon for my protection. Sometimes I had to tell them slaves, they were afraid and they wanted to go back to the plantation. I said, "Halt! You ain't going nowhere. Because if you get caught, you're going to talk. And we all be captured. Go or die. Dead slaves tell no tales." They scared, but they listen to old Harriet. And I get them there safely, too. Just keep a going, I tell them. Keep a going. If you're tired, keep a going. If you're scared, just keep a going. If you're hungry, just keep a going. If you're sick, just keep a going. And I think I said already, if you're scared, you gotta keep a going. Yeah. And if you feel like you can't make another step, you just
keep it going.
Yes. And if you want a taste of your freedom, you just
keep it going.
And once you get up north to freedom, you just
keep it going.
Get yourself a job. You're free. You're free. I was worth a heap of money. $40,000. All the masters in the county come together and offer up $40,000 for my capture, dead or alive. I say before I be a slave again, I'll be buried my grave. They're going to have to catch me first. I found this here today, and folks tell me I can't read now. I ain't supposed to be reading. But there I is. Do that look like me? All that hardness around the eyes. They make a picture that look like me. And they tells me it says armed and dangerous. Cash reward for runaway slave, $40,000. That'd be 40000. That'd be $40,000. Organized theft for URR. That'd be Underground Railroad. Transport slaves to North. Yankee spy. Harriet Tubman. That sure don't look like me. I don't look that bad, y'all. I'm going to save this. On our journey to freedom, I have to take certain things. This is why the Underground Railroad folks say, Harriet, you got to carry this, or you'll be in a heap of trouble. You know what this is?
Sugar.
It be called opium.
Ooh.
Sometimes we take them old folks, poor old folks, they get tired. And we take them little children, they get tired too. Going through the woods, breaking off branches, humming and singing. You got to be quiet. So I take this opium, just a little bit. They say, stick out your tongue. Put a little bit on their tongue. And them old folks, you lead them anywhere, they don't care. They're just walking, going up north, and them little children there, oh, sometimes you got to carry them because they be going to sleep. Opium. Survive and stay alive. Some folks say to me, Harriet, I don't know if I want to go up north with you. You look kind of sick and weakly. I beg your pardon. Sick, weakly. I have you to know that in my day, I had the strength of 2 men. I worked for a logging camp, hauling logs for the white folks. Later, I joined the Union Army, and I become a spy, a scout, and a nurse. Anybody ailing? Everybody okay? You okay, honey? Yeah, you look fine. You look fine. They calls me General Tubman. At your service. John Brown give me that name. He say I be the bravest person on this here continent. I know y'all wondering how I get them slaves to escape with me. Well, I ease my way in on that plantation, and nobody will know that it's Harriet Tubman because I get down and I work right along with the slaves. Sometimes I dresses up like a man, and I does that right well. Sometimes I come dressed as an old woman, walking to the plantation to see her kinfolk, and I does that right well. Overseer say, who that coming down the road? Old woman. Let her go, let her go. Then when I notice somebody watching me, every move I make, I go and runs and finds me a big tree. And before I climb that tree, I backtracks. And I get down in the dirt and I waddle in that dirt to get my scent in that dirt. And then I does this here. This be the hottest pepper in this here whole wide world. It be called African pepper. African pepper. It burns the eyes it burns the nose, it burns the mouth, and it burns the skin. I just sprinkle a little pepper where I wiggled in the dirt. And then I run. And I climb that big old tree and wait for that old slave catchers and the bloodhounds and the bushwhackers. I wait for them to come and get me. One day, I see them coming through the woods. Coming through the woods. And I say, what I'm going to do now? Because I was up in the tree. I got to wait and see what they going to do. The bounty hunter had 3 or 4 dogs tied around his arm like them there little puppies right there. Tied around his arm like that. Dogs was just leading him. Come on, dogs, get her, dogs, get her. Because they was barking. And when them dogs smelled that pepper, they like to went crazy. Running in circles, barking and hacking and coughing and poor little dogs. They went around that man and tied him up so tight and drug him through the cornfield. Corn was flying up in the sky, and he's screaming, "Stop! Stop! I'll shoot you, dogs! Whoa, dogs! Whoa!" I laughed so hard I pretty near fell down from that tree. I almost captured myself. They tangled him up real good. Then I sees him go off after a while in another direction. So I climbs down out the tree and I runs back to the plantation, start to tell them slaves all about the Underground Railroad and how I'm going to take them up north if and they want to go. And when they say, "Yes, Harriet, we'll go with you," I say, "Wait for my signal. I got a song I'm going to sing. You just wait, and when you hear it, you know I'm ready to go." So I goes a long slave road to each cabin, singing this song. Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. You know, as I said before, I never did learn to read or write. I was in Philadelphia when this happened. I was sitting on a bench, like you sitting like right now, sitting on a bench, all dressed up, looking fine as I could, like I was a rich lady, like I was an important lady, and I was. I see 2 men. They was close enough to me so I could hear what they talking about, you know. And them 2 men, one said to the other, "That looked like Harriet Tubman, that slave stealer. You know she'd be worth $40,000. What you think?" When I heard that, I reached into my bag and I pulls out a book. And I starts to read that book. And my mouth was just moving. I was sweating. I was smiling and reading and reading. And one man said to the other, "Nah, that ain't Harriet Tubman." He said, "Why?" "'Cause she can't read." So they went away. But when I looked at the book, it was upside down. The pictures was upside down. That was a close call. But they didn't get me yet. Mm-mm. There'd be another name they call me. It'd be called Moses. They call me Moses, like Moses in the Bible days. He led those Hebrew children to the promised land. They was in bondage for 400 years. And he led them to the promised land. I leads my people to the promised land, the land of freedom. there'd be a song about Moses. You want me to sing it? Okay, let me get some water. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to tell you, thank you for coming here and listening to old Harriet do something she hasn't done in 15 years or more. I am an author of 6 books, children's books, and 1 adult book. My autobiography contains 150 small chapters, and it will have you laughing, it will have you crying, and anything else in between. It came out in 2019, and it is going strong. If you go on Amazon, you can read all of the reviews, and the reviews are excellent. So I have them for sale over here. I have, this book came out in 2003, and it's still going strong, sweet potato pie. And in the back, I have a recipe for my sweet potato pie. This is a funny story. Miss Maddie's Aprons. I wrote it because of my husband's grandmother loved to wear aprons. And it's a rhyming book, so your children would love it, especially the little girls. And I do shows for all of these books. My next book, Run, Fairy, Run, about a little girl who goes to freedom by seeing quilts that hung on the lines. Who is that man who talked about quilts on the line? And words and songs. Run, Fairy, Run, Secrets to Freedom. My next book, for little girls mostly, Miss Ladybug's Block Party. And I'd like to read the back of it. Miss Ladybug dreams of going on vacation far away from the noise and the big city. She knows where she wants to go, but doesn't know exactly how to get to the meadow in the country by the babbling brook. So she plans a big block party, inviting the whole community of flying friends, and hopes that someone would know and give her directions on how to get to the meadow in the country by the babbling brook. And my last book, Rags and Duty Shoes. Wonderful book. A whimsical story told by a 9-year-old, kind-hearted country boy, Enoch. He befriends 2 weary travelers and anxiously awaits their arrival every spring to make everything look new again. Trouble begins when Simon the Bully and his band of troublemakers make fun of Tink and his ragged, worn-out shoes, and design an evil plan to hide his old fix-it car. So Tink is a tinker man, and his dog is Rags. This book is all about how we should not bully. And slavery was the biggest form of bullying this world has ever known. Every nationality has been in slavery, not just the black people, every nationality. So I highly recommend this Rags and Duty Shoes as well. Thank you so much and have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, quilts for sale and aprons.